evergreen overgrowth, verdant trees set aflame, lung-choking haze supplanted the displaced escaped ashen, tinder crackling blaze en masse in the blink of an eye, the repast of the forest, charred seeds rolling in the embers, a desert now showing, the forest no one anymore remembers, in the eye of an oasis reflected from a blinking vulture's hungry eye. Set all the alcohol in the world afire. Sick with addiction disease, we feed the fix. Set all the alcohol in the world afire. This'll fix the feed, it freed the sick. A great purging fire for my ire. But still addiction would remain, but still addiction remains. Dead bodies fill the graves. Life goes on normally, a disgusting charade. People gasp for breath and suffocate. A tube in the throat that won't keep them alive. Youth uncaring, not wearing a mask, blithe. Pandemic systemic becoming endemic. Don't make them wear a mask and give them death. Don't make them wear a mask and give them death. Death to the geriatric from the uncaring youth. Hero duel of the Hierophant, harem of love with the adjuvant, psychopompous adjutants, sacrificed Isaacs on the battle floor as she moans for more on all fours. Impregnate with the beast, adorned in a cradle of horns, nestled in lust, sweat, and Satan sheets, wet and creamed between cathartic coitus after reverie, revelry, esteemed. The decay of Hollywood, the green screen become a blue screen of death. The neon lights mere TV snow, 3 dimensions understood in 2D. In a rush, it was all wrapped in cellophane, preserved on the cigarette-burned big screen, the decadent movie and the gilded cage upon the staged stage, apathy and rage wrapped in plastic, frozen like a stuck page. The plastic rose with Botox needle thorns, laminate, and grotesque eternal youth ever bloomed neon red. But ravens caw and say as law, death shall never be dead. Novel nature's niche, plastic eaters here to finish the remnants of a plastic world. The wind is here to bury the runes of extinction. The crows are here to peck flesh amidst plastic. Not a one bereft of a shadow, so many in denial of their darkness. You are your shadow's shadow. Mass inability to integrate the shadow means it'll run amok. In burning sun of blinding light, the shade is one of the greatest friends. So in darkness some may dwell to escape the inferno of the desert of hell. What shall come of such mass madness, delusion? Only time can tell. It's just as well. But carry now this inner flame, burnt to a crisp. What is it that remains? The mass may dwell in denial, but always may the individual nurse the inner flame and integrate the shadows cast upon the walls. Though the rest of humanity may fall, here is death, here is the grave. The crypto night takes our lives, spurning. The sun's out of sight forevermore, darkness our wrenching hearse. Desire of light nevermore. Our collective shadow like a swarm of ants walking on the moon. Death our cocoon as we grow our space wings to fly into. Takes every effort of willpower, every foci of awareness, moving along with eyes closed, feet moving, third eye searching, takes all you can be, and more than the army. is being. I am drained dry, but dig out infinite energy within as a recharging battery. Fading. Then I shine. Then I vanish. Then I reappear. It seems like I can fall, but I'll go up right away. Never known life this hard, but never felt so driven either. I almost kill myself for all of you, but I won't, because Brother Jesus already did. Do you know? You are always beside me as guides. Your love's here, permeating my spirit, driving me onward, never apart, whole and one. Thoughts of you bring tears and smiles to my eyes. That which kills me may give small death, and there is the eventual finality of the death of the ego. But something lives on. As it does, it is stronger, even if the body is gone. Humanity can be an angel that used to have fins, or the fin we have can always be the end. It's open for choice of consequence, never too late to amend the scars of weight that bleed this black blood of hate. As the greed-hungry feed their sate, feather me to this blank blue as a cloud to obscure the false light, so contrite and the beckoning neon night. We are the angels of ourselves or the devils of our hostilities that extincts our precious chance. We rise from the seas to the air to outer space, but still our own shadows denied we haven't faced, scattering as a swarm of termites to devour the woodworks of all that surrounds us. Strife and division severs our hearts from one another, politicized and dehumanized. If we perish, the sirens will still sing our song at the shipwrecks of the outer space sea. Humanity can be an angel that used to have fins, or the fin we can have can always be the end. It's open for choice of consequence, never too late to amend the scars of weight that bleed this black blood of hate. In a second, all could perish in a mushroom cloud, in our clouded judgment. In a moment, we could heal the scars within us. By the same token, even though we're so broken in our clouded judgment, we seek to fly beyond the clouds. Give me your atom bomb of peace, like a pinprick to get the chip off my shoulder. As humanity so unchanging, I get colder and colder. Render an inner explosion that spreads the catching fallout of healing to the bleeding river of humanity, floundering in insanity. Humidity killing me, I can't breathe. Like pressure underneath the sea, I'm halfway drowning, aching in my bones. Davy Jones, gills green, I feel so deathly intense. Humidity killing me, I can't breathe. Like pressure underneath the sea, halfway drowning me. I shake like a quake, I feel deathly intense. How much more do I take? Tear this awareness away then. Tear this awareness away then, let me free. I don't bide nor bode this misery, like a wound that bleeds, that no one sees, lost at the sea and the water holding air. Let go and take me away, or leave me be and stop the long stay. Humidity killing me, I can't breathe, like pressure underneath the sea. I'm halfway drowning, aching in my bones. Davy Jones, gills green, I feel deathly intense. You think Jesus will save you, but Jesus wants you to save yourself. You say the Holy Spirit is within, but then you look to the heavens and fly towards the stars. You say go to church every Sunday, but Jesus never said to go to church at all. You say love is unconditional, then judge those who aren't monogamous, then hate your Muslim brother. You say read the Bible more closely, but won't shut it when it says to look within. So why don't you save yourself? Look within instead of reaching without, instead of pleading. Jesus save you? So why don't you love without condition? Why don't you join us where each day in the life is a sacred church? Why don't you shut the Bible and open to the book of life, looking deep within? If you do not bring out what is within you, it will destroy you. It's not been brought out, and so the rotting, ripe human fruit, sick with knowledge lackingly applied to life, extincts in strife. We bring in what is without us instead, and it doesn't create us. The bark of your dogma needs to be muzzled. Your gaze without needs to peer within. The sin is within. Within is the sin that you hide away, that you bide away, leading you astray from the path and the way. If humankind is going to fall deeper into a hole of apocalypse, speed it up. I can't stand this meager sleeper dance of wicked greed and cruel violence. The petty lie of every day's charade passes away, is gone day by day. The darkness festering amuck. Let us perish or survive, but no longer this limbo of time, with the working grind as the corporate coxswain snatches profit from these wasted lives, contrived blind, a covenant of dollar signs, contrived and blind, we bow to their lies. Bezo hose and the musk of greed permeates. At these gates we stand, humanity's disparate need of a reprieve in the suffering. The wicked have been sorted to the bottomless pit. The truly righteous and upright and those of love are now with me. My spirit takes leave of this shameful place. I shepherd the forsaken, but too much has been taken, with only suffering given. I take my leave, I ask of thee now, as I truly always did. Save yourself. This Spirit of Christ you use for your aims, which you use to shoulder away your blame. I am gone without a single essence left. The wicked perish just as I am here no more. They turn to find me, only finding one last fluttering cry of forgiveness usher away in the blue sky as it reddens and the earth is no more. I forgive these wicked of their deeds, but I do not forget. Decrepit churches, dilapidated pews, like sepulchres of the good news, cobwebs on the statues of Christ, adorned on the walls, shattered stained glass stained with blood, shadows from the windows fall in a discarded human world. No more prayers, pleas, or calls. The Spirit of Christ no longer here at all. A forgotten memory, now a dead faith, buried by blood spilt, which is burnt at the stake. A rusted steel cross tossed aside, a reconnected circle as an ankh arises, hidden within the symbol that was never given respect. Those who survived a seeming untimely end descended down like a falling smile to a frown. Humanity had thrown away its lighted crown. Ancient rubble of pyramids now not unlike these ancient rubble of cathedrals, decaying across time, crumbling at the foundation, echoing the dead faith's catcalls, crucified to an ankh that morphs into a cross, martyrs across time combined beyond time and space into one, pain and suffering as they're undone, and each passes away into one and the other. Pain to remind us, suffering that binds us, lies that divide us, tears that belie us. Separation is an illusion, a soul-body contusion. May the light within soothe them, the darkness shade them from the coming embers of another end. Life's such a masquerade we pretend that precious moments aren't wasted while some struggle just to live. From surgery to surgery, you surge and surge with an eternal life beyond this mortal coil. A battle in your body, a war you'll face for another chance of life, or a scuttle from this strife, emaciated and pain in your eyes, deathly alive, medically crucified, broken bones and ruptured veins, weak and estranged. but boundless strength in this fragile shell. Thoughts and prayers might not save you, but they'll sustain you beyond this sad, sad world as you curl alone in the hospital bed from surgery to surgery. You surge and surge with an eternal life beyond this mortal coil. Death is on life support, an iron lung. Is that an iron heart waiting, a skeleton with a grinning face? Scythe, smile, then cut off this tree of life, this infected fruit, rotten and back to the snot of the suit, the embalmed wear surgical masks, freezers of the diseased dead are vast, out of the trying pandemic and into the stubborn mire, this neo-Roman infected empire with sickened Greek city-states. This is the American Athens and the American Sparta. There's a plague upon all our world's houses. The down can go lower when it's bottomless, but the uplifting reach deep in, throwing down the rope like unfurling the red carpet. Such a long way to fall if we don't climb. Rope burned, calloused hands, wicked world closer to this humble heart held dear. Into this bottomless pit is where the wicked belong. Fallen from grace, I hoist my chase, I face my fear. The light at the beginning of the pit is near. The cruel world with the wicked ones, I am here to be made all the more kind by this cruelty. Humility or hostility, either's in your ability. Don't hesitate to unify. Urgent is this ubiquity, humility or hostility. It is the patent authority to crucify the third eye, wall martyrs of the wall makers, nailed to the neon-lit glow. TVs buzzing in our reflecting eyes, murmuring in a land of hive ants lifting twice their weight of hate. On needles and pins, the glass shaman cut with plastic. My prick eyes may visceral, bleeding of ignorance rampant. Pill-buried doughboys feeding Generation RX, the POWs of the WOD. Laid off and I need to get a load off. Is an artist ever truly unemployed? I'm always at work, but it doesn't always make money. I have ready, eager gifts to give, but all the corporatocracy sees is dollar signs. But this sour beginning begs me to have a sweeter adulthood. I won't back down. I won't settle for less. In the midst of this adulthood, I will have the childhood I never had. My art touches the world, whether it's recognized or not, whether it's published or not. I want to scatter joy into the world and save someone's life who I never knew. Take us to the final frontier, neglect the frontier within us. The natural resources of this once fertile planet decline as we set our sights to the stars. We wish to escape the plastic tomb we have laid to waste. We robbed the earth and kill our own race with how we live. It's all our own doing, but we want the easy way out. Take us to the final frontier. Neglect the frontier within. A greater mystery resides within. But peering eyes cast upwards glances. We need a psychological microscope. Still they ignore their dreams, serendipity, and intuition. Still they fall to these corporate schemes. What's within us is like the horse. What's without us is the cart. We take the cart before the horse in this space race from earth divorce. Like the poor that littered your streets, continuing the corporate charade of greedy consumption and an assured extinction. We scramble toward the stars, have not abetted our psyche's scars. Take us to the final frontier, neglect the frontier within us. The natural resources of this once fertile planet decline. As we set our sights to the stars, we wish to escape this plastic tomb we have laid to waste. We robbed the earth and kill our own race with how we live. It's all our own doing, but we want the easy way out. All this we can see with a telescope, but all this within us we are blind to. If you do not bring out what is within you, it will destroy you. You can only run away from the darkness you deny for so long before the destruction catches up to you. Flee to the stars from the once beautiful planet, now left to shambles. As have you destroyed this planet, so too have you destroyed yourselves. Taxpayers, they say, read 'em and weep, debt collect of the meek or weary, far from merely teeny, to make money to Uncle Sam. If the taxpayer can, money he take will, as much as a leech could suckle the furthest fill. I was stranded in San Francisco. I wasn't getting Frisco and frisky. I supposed a friend had just pushed me, despite knowing my history of abuse. Then the taxpayer paid me through the tax collector. We're just going to start over. Taxpayers, they say, read 'em and weep, debt collect of the meek or weary, far from merely leery. So take money to Uncle Sam, if the taxpayer can. Money he take will, as much as a leech could suckle the fullest fill. I was stranded in San Francisco. I wasn't getting frisky in Frisco. I suppose friend had just pushed me, despite knowing my history of abuse. Then the taxpayer paid me through the tax collector, who gave me $50 to my utmost surprise. Only in San Francisco, I thought. Taxpayers, they say, read 'em and weep, debt collect of the meek or weary, far from merely leery, to take money to Uncle Sam. If the taxpayer can, money he take will, or so they say. But San Francisco tax collectors are different. Humanity's mostly water. There's this Davy Jones locker within. Each night I go for a swim, then I rise above unconscious water, like tides pulled by the moon. I, the surfer, suffocating in this deathly cocoon. Chrysalis of suffering, wonder what wings that metamorphose fly to the sun or the moon. I swoon as a monsoon towards the dark side of the moon, twixt the salt and the wound, in the scar that broods, nearly drowned now on conscious ground, infirm yet found, cast away back to sea, these images of memory in the sea of dreams, merrily, merrily, yet my body screams. A sinking ship renovating to a submarine. I bleed beyond this neon blue screen. Ere is a time for the heir of the Irodule to with fornication give deprivation of power to these men who cower behind the banner of fear. Patriarchy, as matriarchy did, must fade away. I bade the way beyond father and mother, for we are the sons and daughters of the god of the patriarchy and the goddess of the matriarchy, no longer held to subservient control by the rusted chains of this cuffing divinity. The time of the patriarchy needs long since to be at full end. My fair Mother Earth would wear their corpses as the sunflower wears the sun. What is blood? The water of my heart and veins, the roots to absorb, grows this body, this temporary temple, this fleeting experience and lesson that is life. The acrid taste of iron amidst the double helix of deoxyribonucleic acid. I close my eyes. I see veins and a sharp needle penetrating as blood fills a vial. These crude methods of science, yet these blood tests can be life-saving. A needle is a medieval device. It's time for science to evolve rather than just study evolution. What is blood? I close my eyes. I see a flood of red, which used to be blue, but oxidized, changes hue. Like a dark Noah's Ark, men and women saved by Christ amidst the violence of war. What a mysterious thing is blood. When dreams seemingly sleep and are locked away, and life pulls down into darkest depths of dismay, I call upon the power to lift me up and go my way, to never ever give up and down lay. Remind me to carry on and let it strengthen today, so their weakness becomes my strength. Indomitable will, I beckon you to fill me to go above and beyond. The needle in my head puts a dream in my mind. The sanguine bleeds into memories and images, brushing across like the touch of a new age ghost, breaking my body in this choice with a host. This is the body and bread of the strife. The good news never became better, and the same evil olds only got worse. This everyday life has become a dream, a bad movie behind a death blue screen. I say the lines like single file lies in another scene. Hypodermic martyr nails and snake bites. The Neo-Christ would be a heroin addict. The monkey with rabies rides my back, as does this humanity ride the back of Gaia. In a dream within a dream, my life flashes before my inner eye. I know these characters in my dreams. I try to skip a dose, shoot up in my dream, and wake up in a horrific scream. Diarrhea and puke at the same time as I reach to load the snake bite. The familiar sting and prick, the painful moments as I wait between. Then blackness. Oneirogenic metempsychosis. My awareness is thrown from my body to never return. My dreams were real, and this reality was fake, forever bereft of the conscious life. I am beyond sleeping wide awake. Oneirogenic metempsychosis. A dream dreamt alone is just a dream, but a dream dreamt together is reality. I look back now and realize the dreams were a lie. Trapped in a hell I was seduced to stay, lost forever with Morpheus and my life given away. Oneirogenic metempsychosis. I was a fool to have chosen this, but it's too late. I ain't afraid of a lady with an upside-down cross. If she's wearing an upside-down ankh, I'm at a loss. Apep takes the cake when it comes to Satan. Seth has even more deeply forsaken their god. The Lilith Lily of the Nile Valley, tempter beyond facades. A cross with a circle is an ankh. The circle has been broken. A cross is an evolving symbol. What next form to take? Idun is casting apples of knowledge for your capitalist wiles. Devour the tree of knowledge barren, and let it wilt with lack of wisdom. Sick and obese from this knowledge we have become. God said we are forgiven for eating this fruit, so what do? We gobble up more and more and more, as we have mass-produced the tree of knowledge itself, from the knowledge of how to get its seeds and how to grow it. If wisdom meant Solomon died on its account, would humanity not condemn itself en masse if it had this wisdom? Yeah, I got friends who love me for who I am, unlike you, who want me to be who you want me to be. I ain't a binky to cry your life away, and I'm only here to respect you if you respect me as more than some young son to kick around with your bitter whims. I ain't here to have what happened 8 years ago held against me, when I already changed for the better. You just don't want to see it in your delusion of worrisome concern. Yeah, I got friends who love me for who I am, unlike you, who want me to be who you want me to be. I ain't a binky to cry your life away, and I'm only here to respect you if you respect me as more than some young son to kick around with your bitter whims. How few words to find to paint up the corporate wall. So ready to be sold, violet are these syllables. The womb of a word these days is a fiscal matter. The monocle men of the monopoly hunger for the next cell. These words, as profane prostitutes now stream across the scroll zones of unwarranted eyes, espying more truth-told lies by the by. The pigs of businessmen oink to the sty of greed, awaiting more to steal, more of their egos to feed. Poetry that has died in public place. In some secret world within the world, do you live? The keynote of sustainability is survivability. The keynote of adaptability is sustainability. The keynote of survivability is adaptability. The keynote of adaptability is sustainability. Your patriarchy has none of these earmarks, so hear it plain and simple as these dark days. Keep living the way you are, you'll fade away, lost in a forever lived, repeating yesterday of repeating histories and mistakes. The keynote of survivability is adaptability. The keynote of adaptability is sustainability. Your patriarchy has none of these earmarks. So hear it plain and simple as these dark days. Keep living the way you are, you'll fade away, lost in a forever lived, repeating yesterday of repeated histories and mistakes. You told me I was never abused, like you had lived my life, like I was lying about my pain. Funny that you are one of those abusers. Probably you don't remember anyway. Too drunk out of your mind, you think I'm a drug addict, but I am 9 years clean of opiates, haven't smoked in over a month, and have been taking only 15 milligrams of caffeine. You used to drunkenly bother me at 2 a.m. when I worked at 4 a.m. the next day. Suffice it to say, there's been many slights, there's many things you think, and you very little understand me. So think what you think, far away from the doorstep of my soul. When I'm weak and hurting, I'm reminded how cruel you are. Hit me where it hurts, when it already burns. Sometimes there's not even a last straw. Enough is enough, another insult to my soul. Probably drunk, some things never change, and like a knife cutting away poison, I won't let this any more estrange. So have another drink till you can't think. Say another piercing, mean thing. I won't be there anymore. Enough is enough, another insult to my soul. Won't believe in the honesty you gave me, twisting in your own insecurity. I can forgive from a pleasant distance, and I can never forget. Meanness is so average and typical of you, so kindness I find and is mine. This is goodbye. This Piscean cold shoulder, cold from the deeps of the dark blue. Fishes swim in schools, learning more than us fools. Something's fishy here, and the scales have turned. Once bitten, twice spurned, thrice I turn away. Love from an ocean of distance, and wisdom too shallow to learn. Gills of blind gall, that's the reef I have with this. Deadened from bitterness, a grudge-held life is a life not at all. Your toxic twist to torment, at my soul's doorstep too long. I will not be sickened by this anymore. I have seen glimmers of a happy woman seeping through the cracks of a poison-laden sewer. A bit of sunshine before acid rain, but it's always the same. Soon enough stabbed as if from a swordfish. Over and over again, only a fool would allow another stab. I love you from needed distance. I hold up high the true woman, obscured in pity and sadness. I see through it. It's like piercing an obscuring veil. Thick as smoke, you lack the mirrors I hold in my heart. That's who you really are, yet it hides away, rarely seen, and the slights to my soul do not just go. I ask this part of you to live fullest, but I am always reminded how dead it seems, as a fish shaking in death, aground in a drought of your inner fading sea, deadened from bitterness, a grudge-held life is a life not at all, your toxic twist to torment, at my soul's doorstep too long, I will not be sickened by this anymore. Second nature forgiveness, automatic as my withdrawal from this world, dead in cold blood, forgiveness alive, blood or no blood, instant forgiveness, without a second thought, as I'm caught, cast beyond this mortal coil, lay my body in the soil, but let rest more, this endless toil to a lane rest, the forgiveness of the cruelest sin the moment that it happens, but the memory remained as eternal as flux and change. I am the spirit that forgives the soldier of their crimes, of the ones they have killed. I am the spirit that forgives the psychopath of the ones they have killed. I have compassion for the compassionless, empathy for the damned, not in my herd. I am the herd shepherd of the damned. While you sin, I instantaneously forgive. I dodge every stone's throw. Disseminated in a dream, I am more than I seem to mean. Psychologic safety, catch protection mechanism. Innate, intuitive, diminutively intangible. Bridge between unconscious and conscious makes my life manageable. I'm within, given third sight. You see your sin within. In the shadows of the night. Light found not nightmare. You see your sin within. Ere the moon shone beyond flesh veneer. Shadows of the mind, so cruel, unkind. You sin, I am instant forgiveness. This is fasted food on a slow feed, a stone's throw away from falling in a bottomless pit of dismay. Who is this sinner within the saints, the saint within the sinners? Querulous quiet and perilous plight, the shadows of the night, mind the shadows. I feel the sting, death rattle stricken and stabbed. The scorpion stings itself, soul leaves body, the skull into the sky. Scorpion is done, now an eagle with sharp eye. Transformation is information, information is transformation, prying from the skull, skulking the sky. Swooping down to scorpion sting, the eagle cried death knell, as a feathered light alit, burning past the end of wick. Violent changes rearranges the strangeness. A phoenix from an eagle's skull arises, as shadows fall amidst the mortal flesh. An enveloping void alight with phoenix flame, ashes falling down in rain. Tragic pandemic, inevitably endemic, systemic stupidity as thriving as the contagion, spreading exponential, grim faces and buried graves as we continue this neon charade. In this pandemic war, the innumerable slain, more casualties laying to a maskless parade, social distance battle tactics at subsistence. The vaccine is the gun for the invader within, that has the immune system troops don body armor and the dying of our dying of more. Tragic pandemic, inevitably endemic, systemic stupidity as thriving as the contagion, spreading exponential, grim faces and buried graves as we continue this neon charade. In this pandemic war, the innumerable slain, more casualties laying to a maskless parade, social distance battle tactics at subsistence. The vaccine is the gun for the invader within, that has the immune system troops don body armor and the dawn of our dying amour. To shoot it to death and have humanity win, to shield our dying mass as we doff and bask, the mask to protect from mustard gas. Like virus particles breathing in this air, the maskless play with danger without a care, while the dying perish forever beyond despair. Civilians witless, unwillingly conscripted to this long enduring war, infantile infantry that won't turn and face the enemy within, the needle like a gun they won't fire into their shoulders without a mask, letting in the mustard gas, social distance a wartime stance they cower to make, farmed forms topple like dominoes, the too early long gone are not coming back. It's relentless. The virus mutates like a strategic war master. Humanity, as always, left none the wiser. Would we go to war against our human enemies without a gun? Would we fight a brigade charge without donning body armor? Would we forsake the battle tactics of the medical military school? This is just what some have done and will continue to do. Unwilling to fight in a war they must face, they perish and take out those who do what they will not with them. Reality tunnels crossing a kind of ped-exing. It that paints the grasses green and all the shades of green between, E-primed and raring to go commonly. 8 circuits in this brain CPU, leery and raw diaphanous birthday suit, dim, timid, and wanton bobbing. Circuits whirring to life the first time, doors open in the mind. With or without drugs, how to unlock? Can find the key to the knob, the hand to a twist. Metaprogram the maladaptive imprints, this territory and a map. Whatever the thinker thinks, the prover proves. A model and a reality towards pain, away from pleasure, upside down, the instinctual measure. What to make of reality tunnels walked. Caisson of the unconscious Davy Jones. Construction upon the archetypes in the midst of the deep unknown. Gravity of the unknown with the inertia of courage. The unconscious safety catch will filter through as time falls through the beads of an hourglass. Let this choice to honor our inner integrity be our glass, which passes as beads of sweat without repent, to the last of our wills if they be spent on relenting freefall, but not always a descent. At the crestfallen rise of eternity we spurn, never erring to insult our souls. Nix, the Nixon HMO, render Kaiser impermanente. The greedy bottom line, amidst such compassion and humility, profiteering hostility, excess funds from misfortune lives, health, an elusive commodity in the sodomy of capitalism. Health is an expensive item. Born with bad health and property, too bad for you. Time to pay the piper. Are they really pro-lifers when to live costs the prettiest penny? Debt spent and death pent the debtors collect without repent. Debt spent and death pent the debtors collect without repent. Wearing a diaphanous green midi, my sailor down below saluted her. Bountiful balsam and nipples pressed against the threads of fabric, making me almost timber, while as I stand, her long red hair reaching down to her bare thigh. She turns around and bends over, her wet vulva astride dripping want. I lose all self-control. I stick my sword into her welcoming sheath, and after a doggy-styled 30 minutes, explode, relief. I am bequeathed in squirt and her Davy Jones below. I pull out like walking off the plank I've laid, and the semen is thrown out from an exploding squirt. The ship is down and the moans are up as she collapses like a ship into the sea. I turn her over and feast on this succulent quahog, face soaked in the whoopin' soaker cunnilingus. The Cheshire cat, except chemical. It seems the hookah-smoking caterpillar sat and smoked a spat with the Cheshire cat, and after that, like a brain in a vat, these transformed cat's pajamas and the chemicals molecule. The Cheshire cat and the hookah-smoking caterpillar's chrysalis. What would a butterfly smoke? Wondered the grinning cat, waiting for the complete metamorphosis. The Cheshire cat's pajamas are chemical. The chemical's molecule, phenethylamines be mine this Valentine. A smarter martyr of the fatuous numerous. Tryptamines tripping me, but no crutch to clean cloy. The doors of perception and the windows a priori, and the psyche house is a timeless story. Curious, the subtlest variance causes the greatest difference. Two methyl clusters onto serotonin and dimethyltryptamine. Chemical receptors to synapse. You to I becomes we. A covalent psychoactive bond. The chemical's molecule is the quark's atom, as the organ is to the organelles. Off with his head. So the cat took off his head like a bowler's hat that splat a strike and knocked a few pins loose in all the minds around him. If the collective history shall repeat itself interminably, I shall not repeat this history as an individual in that interplay. Roman America, I shall be the Athenian Greek to your Spartan Rome. I will learn from the lessons of the individual in the annals of history. I'm the Arete to your Augustus, Socrates to this Caligula. May I entwine with this honesty to have an honest courage, a courageous honesty. 27 stabs, and the one that hurt the most is the dagger of a friend. In this integrity of solidarity, recognizing the interdependence, I'm Greece plus Rome with an emphasis on Greek. You're Rome plus Greece, emphasis on Rome. Republics shall fall, but the die is cast of the individual, regardless. A gamble with no coming back. A war of the individual in medias res, of this collective history redundancy. Rise and birth new government, adapted to evolution past the inability of humanity as a group to evolve, to move past pervasive authoritarian rulership. I am the Socratic Kaiser. This is an autocratic seizure, never a king and never a lie, a gadfly warrior who kills ideas. I await my 5,000 dead ideas slain from my thoughtful armies for this triumph in these plastic streets. I am the food for thought, the game that cannot be played amongst these pans at Kirkenses. Et tu, Americus, who are you? The lizard king with dilated eyes rode a ravenous, gluttonous warthog. He butted through to the other side as the flag of the swine rallied. A sometimes cruel, hurtful violence precipitated by its intoxication, throwing the lizard king off his station. But usually ole, and he lived another day, till sooner or later the monstropulous obese swine ushered in the end, goring its once friend. But into those dilated eyes we stare again. Test tube bred babies for the dwindling war-torn human population, being fruitful and multiplying artificially. Dead, dismembered, blasted bodies contrasted with a fetus in a petri dish cradle. Bred for war, not to care, genetically altered, to listen without a thought and execute orders. From the altar of science to the killing floor, humans are now extinct, even if still alive. Their spirit is consumed in endless war. Sociopathy and psychopathy rules the world. An iron fist grips the velvet neon charade. Bury the dead in plastic-filled waste graves, wrapped in cellophane. Humanity's humanity was lost in war, and peace is easy to murder without the wisdom to apply science. All too easy is this tragic violence. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. treading the fine line with insufficient tact. Psychological scars over exert the body to inquiry, and injury held in self-esteem perjury, rising above the traumas in a flurry to fall back into the dark black night, past the neon light, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, the reality I have to radically accept, though wanting to ever move forward, recursive resignment flouts to a firm resolve triumphant. She strips like a stripping agent, first to show her birthday suit, then she's put to doff the skin, but all the men want her wet within, only skin deep like chauvinistic chodes, hungry for the next glory hole, shallow, uncouth expose. A stripper taking off the birthday suit, in a birthday suit riot, a moaning siren, tantric tantalized, sex beyond flesh, but wait till she takes off, the death day panties wet, with the largesse mort, reborn as a fetus in the womb of her B-day suit dawn. The superficial are gruff, and taste not her muff. She straddled my desk in Latin class, Babus et sexta facet. Was it a wardrobe malfunction or a function of seduction? She'd reach under my shirt to grab my bare chest between the school bells. My life is a romantic porno. Thoughts of love cause sexual thoughts. Thoughts lead to actions. 7 years and 4 scores ago, this harem was established. If I'm sexy and you know it, spank my ass. If you're sexy and you show it, flash your tits. If I'm sexy and you're sexy and you really want to show it, blow it. Love to see and sex to love. Love to sex, never let them be in twain. Romance with seduction, the serpent and the dove. Rose of roses with manicured thorns. Let you grow wild and sharply adorned. Love to sex and sex to love, never let them be in twain. Romance with seduction, the serpent and the dove. Rose of roses with manicured thorns, let you grow wild and sharply adorned. All the beautiful women and all the gay men can put our sense of gender back together again. All the beautiful women and all the gay men can put our sense of gender back together again. Post-traumatic growth through resilience triggered into love and compassion, vigilant vitality of vivacious becoming. In between the breaths, I can see the curtails of stagnancy. I can see the healing like a ghost possessing me, waving at me as I glimmer faintly in the distance. And a drive of magnetism towards its inertic lilac, of growth rooted in a rhizome that ever remains, to bloom this light bulb of eureka at the height of the psyche storm. This status quo is my chrysalis. With feathered angel wings I'll fly, goodwill like a ray of hope into the darkness. How often do we talk of this post-traumatic growth through resilience? I won't just talk, I'll show and tell. Amen to the corporate cock and snatch. Glory to God in his skyscraper. Oh, bless this patriarchy in the name of the corporate cock and snatch. Let us be entertained and glutton our bellies with processed food, with thumbs up our asses for the corporate cock and snatch. In the corporate cock's name, we P-R-E-Y. Hallelujah. Excuse me while I fuck the desk. It's like how he used to kiss the sky. Forgive me, corporate cock and snatch, for I have sinned secretly in the furtive folds of my heart. I am betraying you. Please forgive me. I consume the caffeine, the Eucharist of the corporate cock. In the corporate snatch's name, high men, high men. This is the blood and body of the corporate cock, crucified to the stake, given up for us. Through transubstantiation, blood and body becomes the pans et circenses of the poor. Holiest of holies, I am but Job being tested by the wiles of he who dwells in the skyscraper. Bless the Saccharicide for the termites of the corporate woolly works and the specialization for insects, the death of Arete. Pencil push-ups from the bureaucratic jumble, cold, calculating jive, a reason without a rhyme. A rhythm in base 10 number time, like a crime long out of season, numbers and their treason of poverty and casting of caste, never-ending debt chased chase, mathematical greed to the equation of you and me, obscene fiscal frisk fisk sleaze, corporate cock please snatch, snatch snitched please cock. You must play the game as I say. There's no other way I condition your brain to be closed and tamed. You must play the game the way I say. Informing and forming our minds to their view of reality. The urbane banality, the utter insanity of arbitrary egality to cast the employee to the street is in your legality at will to kill the sense of individuality. Play the game as I say, there's no other way. I condition your brain, tell you what's saying. You must play the game as I say, do. As I do, don't say. Pencil push-ups from the bureaucratic jumble, cold, calculating jive, a reason without a rhyme, a rhythm in base 10 number time, like a crime long out of season, numbers and their treason of poverty and casting of caste, never-ending debt chased chase, mathematical greed, in the equation of you and me. Obscene, fiscal, frisk, fisk, sleaze, corporate cock pleased, snatch, snatch, snitched, pleased cock. I'll snap the people that are corrupt like the bamboo that I am is snapping. Snap, crackle, burnt corporate cock. Snap, crack, and burnt corporate cock. How dare you flaunt a shove of at will, at ease, your reprieve, senseless livelihood kill. The push you shove furls me to the ground, but in Aikido now falls your company and echoics around. No more ground for you to gain. You nose to the grave, grovel to the gavel of unowned justice. Each moment is my court case, like going to church and praying at the altar of your dead ideals. Jurisprudence be at evidence. The judge is ruling in this blind bad faith. Iniquity leads me to this lawful hostility, for this society's ignominy, sentence to life without parole, this corruption and cancerous extol. Repeating misery, destruction, and death, uprisings of dictators, redundant war drum beats its drone again, dismembered, murdered, and empathy and show of martial force, no backing down, no remorse. A more global fascism seeks to triumph in the war game, no matter how much suffering, as many dead civilians as it takes, as many starving people as it takes. Give the control or let them have your life. Like a broken record of demanding victories, the death happens again. Never again, America said after the Nazis. 5 years later, the CIA was helping install fascist dictatorships around the world. We are a part of that never again. Is this boot stamping on a human face forever, or will this human stamp on the boot forevermore? No more historic redundancy, a new precedent. Will it ever be evident? The world lays aside like it's a ring with ropes, but these ropes shall burn. The lust for power will not stop its turn. For more and more, this never again is happening again. Standing in disbelief, this is not a spectator sport. These wings I fly, God, can't fly past this obstacle. The beast running to ram must be of some holy resolve. It wants to save mine wings as it remembers its own, as saplings rippling the wall of divide. What are these wings, my lord, if feathering under humans? Wing they are not. A jetliner of a bottomless hole not yet black. Feather them to my wings, O Lord, the beast undid the burden as a warden of feathers turn in the wind. What am I to make of this, my lord? My hardship is shepherded, woven wool to the waft of experience. And in the heart of forgiveness, my enemy is no longer a foe. As I battle within the shadow of the angel wings to the Lord's blessing light. Fishmongers, strumpets, and crumpets have gotten to none other than the nunnery, none any longer ornery, the moist between the legs, a tea of ovary, most pleasing at elevensies. To calm the tresses of stress to hairy situations, rheum hung to the corner of their eyes, like the nocturnal emissions of Morpheus, and all the due ecstasies of the Onoroi. Ejaculations from the windows, oh, the souls, with no courtesy of permissions ever extolled. Micropurulent, demure coquette, promiscuous mucus of small death in a bottomless unconscious depth. If dream were a succubus such as this, and woman alone to allure the shadows to a lust of pith and marrow, of the bones of the boned, tersing the mortality, may the light of love also be shown. The scorpion's stinger transforms into a spider's fang. A spider's fang transforms into an eagle's talon. An eagle's talon burns, and out of the flames a fiery feather arises. The fire abates, and scales form on the feather in camouflage. A cobra strikes at the embering ashes. A wolf howls at the moon. Information invigoration transforms evolution itself. Epigenetic inheritance heritage. Information understood is transformation. Some dreams are a message to be understood. But even if shown a better way, it seems so few would take that way anyway. But some will, and the individual will continue to transform beyond the norms yet among them, blending in and blotting out the lies as they lie dreaming, the powers that be in greedy scheming, while minds awaken in a neon charade. Ersatz as it stands, one die mound indivisible, with just served ice for all. I listen to the records you burn. I read the books you ban. I think the thoughts I'm conditioned not to. I paperclip Project Paperclip onto the fridges of America and plaster it onto the city lamps. I sell vaporized car engines on the black market of the streets. MK Ultra brainwashed their minds. Brainwash continued, but I'm the mind dry, the wet brainwash, droughtin' and undone, I open their minds. These are the next Gary Webbs amidst the gossamer of lies. This is the next cocaine Contra. It's not contra-indicated. The people will be vindicated. In lies, they are incubated, and the truth sooth instated. A target audience for a cumulative profit margin, stupidity at infinity, educated, prim and proper infamy, famous to the lies decreed, dressed to impress in ignominy. Open your eyes to see the American nightmare crawling out of an aborted dream. from the dark underbelly dealings of a scheming decay, greed grubbed and thrown away, garbaged in blue as pigs oinking in a sty stew, protect and serve the plastic death on a platter. One corporation's treasure is the people's garbage. Red for blood, white for Caucasian, sing stars orbiting violence and beside bars, whether alcoholic or brazen, garbaged in blue, this American experiment is forsaken. Scare ravens craven, even scarecrows scared, these GMO mustard seeds, cultigens of stupidity planted in the Garden of Eden, guarded by the scare raven, as a snake slither hither in the fruit of knowledge, an apple to fear, a seed to plant upon eating. Yet the cultigens of stupidity, weedsome ranks, rank with fatuous, numerous herds of humans, consume the intelligent, led along by a sheep herder costume wolf to the slaughter of the sapio-prissy, perverted proteliate patricians, the unkindness of scare ravens, like a murder of crows, out to the masses in their death throes, married to violence, kept alive by morbid panic. Amidst the scare ravens, a goat sings a song of the eternal hardship humanity faces anon. With horns of sharpened intellect, up the mountain is gone. My mind is a black hole ear. I taste the decibels. My mind is a mouth with a black hole ear. I taste the decibels. Consuming noise pollution and inconsiderate reverberations, I swallow the neon wallow whole. Transformed deep within, recycled plastic into the organic. Pratyahara, Pratyahara, a hidden psyche stomach like a vestibule. This tortoise shell amidst this soundful hell. Withdrawn within, the mind has teeth, chewing, that swallow the decibels. PTSD resilience eats up sound into inner silence. Cannot fence the infinite within to boundaries of ubiquitous sin. Inside out and outside in, I transform beyond the conscious whims. Consume with the mind, not with the stomach. Consume with the mind, not for this capitalistic, consumptionist, vapid culture vulture. Withdraw the senses, consume with the mind. Withdraw the sense, ka-ching, ka-ching. Consume with the mind, consume with the mind. My mind is a mouth with a black hole ear. I taste the decibels, consuming noise pollution and inconsiderate reverberations. I swallow the neon wallow whole. Transformed deep within recycled plastic into the organic. Pratyahara, Pratyahara, a hidden psyche stomach like a vestibule. This tortoise shell amidst this soundful hell. Withdrawn within, the mind has teeth chewing that swallow the decibels. PTSD resilience eats up sound into inner silence. Cannot fence the infinite within to boundaries of ubiquitous sin. Inside out and outside in, I transform beyond the conscious whims. Consume with the mind, not with the stomach. Consume with the mind, not for this capitalistic consumptionist vapid culture vulture. Withdraw the senses, consume with the mind. Withdraw the sense, ka-ching, ka-ching. Consume with the mind, filled with food beyond thought, amidst conditioned programs caught in the fascist facade, exuberate execution of the greedful devour protocols. Withdraw the senses, consume noise pollution with the mind. Obese stomachs, emaciated minds, skeletal gray matter, bloated wastes. Withdraw the senses, consume with the mind, withdraw the senses, ingress and digest, consume with the mind. My mind is a mouth with a black hole ear. I taste the decibels, consuming noise pollution and inconsiderate reverberations. I swallow the neon wallow whole, transform deep within recycled plastic into the organic pratyahara, a hidden psyche stomach like a vestibule. This tortoise shell amidst this soundful hell, withdrawn within. The mind has teeth chewing. Let's swallow the decibels. PTSD resilience eats up sound into inner silence. Cannot fence the infinite within to boundaries of ubiquitous sin. Inside out and outside in, I transform beyond the conscious whims. Consume with the mind, not with the stomach. Consume with the mind, not for this capitalistic, consumptionist, vapid culture vulture. Withdraw the senses, consume with the mind. Withdraw the sense, ka-ching, ka-ching. Consume with the mind, filled with food beyond thought amidst conditioned programs caught in this fascist facade, executing greedful devour protocols. Withdraw the senses, consume noise pollution with the mind. Obese stomachs, emaciated minds, skeletal gray matter, bloated wastes. Withdraw the senses, consume with the mind, withdraw the senses. Ingress and digest, consume with the mind. I am the underestimated, a velvet glove, oh sure. But the iron fist pumps into the injustice of this, like a machine weighting the balanced scale of the necessary reflection of inconsiderate force, a calculated chess piece strike from a can of worms opened up by those who are uncomprehending of the cardinal air they flounder, into a flurry of an usurping gale force breeze. Immeasurable force in the matter of nanoseconds interspersed with the fixed flame of the Leo, while like knives pressurized water thrust by pneumatic intensity stabs into a scorpion, striking to the very heart of the matter and bleeding the heartless dry to their knees. Clemency is inclement, unbalanced. It's that which would allow the unconscionable. Even the kindest souls can only be pushed so far. When beauty shows its ugly face, do not be surprised. Booming subwoofer reverberations echo and shake from the inconsiderate neighbors. More of the same in my own apartment, violated peace and quiet after a long day sucking off the profit demanding. As a tortoise goes into its shell, so too my awareness and sensing of outward sounds goes inward. Inward gaze, the inner senses I connect to, neglected and underdeveloped to the Western mind. Overdeveloped outward senses like a malignant cancer, ever expanding to create inconsiderate noise pollution. I ruminate on the reflective nature of the universe. I gave chocolate to my love again and again, leaving myself without. Then a kind woman gave me much chocolate. So as I had given, did I surprisingly receive? I cut someone off driving to Oregon, nearly getting into an accident. As I first pulled into Eugene, the same was done to me. To me. In selfishness and inconsideration, what has been done to me, by them, so shall the mirror reflect it back to them. To them. This I know. This I meditate on, as I would hold a rock in my hand, rotating it, filling each crack and contour. This I know. Miss writes a lot, takes another shot at the writer's block pockmarked black. Postal lingual vestibule, my anima's taking over. She killed the man, he's over. She's wild and evil, tigress eats weasels, stiletto stigmata, obligata debutante. The roots were made for soaking. She, the anima of Adam, Mata, Jim Morrison anima of the foundations, babe laid. Animus of spears, whoring it out to the hose. Hoeing the rake take to the whores. I can be a woman surrounded by men. I can be a man surrounded by women. I can be a man surrounded by men. I can be a woman surrounded by women. When the mood strikes, you will tell. To the bang of the love, the gender I bell. Hop a switch chameleon blending to romance. That's in a Greek wilderness of beyond pain. While in pain, I can sustain shape-shifting lover. Not the boring typical norm, transform horny horns, she fire, warm to the touch. She framed the form, playful, living porn, in seduction lock lorn, love twain to adorn, changing forms like different clothes, coming out of the closet unclosed. She gives it how she wants it, gives it as she instructs you. She will take it. Subspace, outer space is out. She needs something else in. Dead man, living woman, gender identity, harmony, in order. Society with identity disorder. Individual beyond economic royalty. Thrive to a wealth of spirit, woman, in between these thighs, cock-eyed vulva into the vagina of the anima. She lays beautiful, stoned, yet and precise, upon the bed with an unsmoked bong held endearingly in hand, while shadows dance and spew thick haze fog of cannabis smoke on the bed beside. She makes love to the stoner sorority of the Hollywood of the unconscious, shadows of smoke playing across her smoking hot body, and long unsmoked lungs. The smoke breathes her, but she doesn't breathe the smoke. My anima is making love to my shadow. My anima is my shadow. My shadow is my anima. The conscious self is tied in the corner, gazing with third-person sight. The love-making of darkness and femininity amidst this proclaimed light of patriarchy. The love-making of darkness and femininity amidst the proclaimed light of the patriarchy. Ad free, ad liberty for you and me gets us on the bee's knees. There's no commercial for what I want and need. Get all over me, ad free, ad liberty for you and me. Commercials for free, dumb, play infinitely, chaining you and me. But here I am, despite trial and misery. Liberty, bell, like a morning delight for an afternoon of sex at first sight. The inch bell For at least an ell of a feast of dying sacrifice, humanity's gonna pay the price beyond neon contrite skin. The candy too sweet, but skin deep, gotta taste the blood sugar to know the sugar cane of this root. Ad-free liberty for you and me, baby. Get down on your bee's knees, on the edge of the stab for a jive in this hive. Ad-free, ad-liberty for you and me. Got us on the bee's knees. There's no commercial for what I want and need. Get all over me, ad-free, ad-liberty for you and me. Commercials for free, dumb, play infinitely. Chaining you and me, but here I am, despite trial and misery. Liberty Bell, like a morning delight for an afternoon of sex at first sight. The lunch bell for a feast of dying sacrifice. Humanity's gonna pay the price beyond neon contrite. Skin candy too sweet, but skin deep, gotta taste the blood sugar to know the sugar cane of this root. Ad-free liberty for you and me, baby. Get down on your bee's knees, on the edge of the stab for a jive in this hive. To pollinate beyond love and hate, I need your liberty French kiss. Sexy miss, I need your liberty French kiss. Ad-free the liberty, get all over me. Sexy miss, can't resist, now flash. Amidst all the olds, a new flash. Just a moment, while we moan a few herds from all the spawns whores. This is work that doesn't stop for pain. It's a form for the pain to be contained rather than fester and stain. My work has a force beyond master and slave. If I'm too intense, there's always a door over there. But the window to my soul is always everywhere, with no one. Lonely for someone on my level, dimensional analysis of the relationships of my strife. Catharsis is cohorting and collusion with fun and life. But pain to endure like a bitch to be affixed. The work behind the forced society scenes. Play per slew of the violent blue. Don't be gave too soon. Trust takes time but given. I will protect you, I will infect you. To a peace you only wish you knew. Work for it with a different formula than economic enslavement. Now here's the edutainment to the taint of this moment. Give a flash of skin to hold it. I have higher aspirations than profit gain. I'll remind you again, this work doesn't stop for pain. Can you handle it? It stains and stabs to contain. It doesn't equal time or money. My pain isn't funny. I'm right on the beyond the money for a greater gain. Time eventually erodes all money. Isn't it funny? They were blinded by those meteors of people who landed like a splat of indescribable meaningful. Then the two meteors met above the sky like a firework of fame framed in infamy cry. The fire that started danced to the flashing cameras. The dirty dirt danced as only dirt can dance. The integrity glitter of the unconscious prance. An explosion beyond a miracle of a debacle. Even the camera can't comprehend the thespians. Can't blend. Plastic melts and bends, putting an under. Electron scope. Those who microscope this blaze, two meteors met in sight and merged tonight. Debris of you and me lands to earth. Genesis apocalypse on the kissing debris lips. Birthing an end, ending a pretend. Fame can't contain the flame. Two meteors, the small bang of Copernican revolution of the mind. Free us from this humaniocentric contain. The meteors of people who left a crater and stayed, like extinct dinosaurs of sound, ghosts of pterodactyls flying around, singing the reptile song of survival forever long, meteors of being smashed to memory, cratered in infamy, remembering the bright blaze there was to see. The ghosts host this ceremony. I've got all the societal alimony. A pension like a pensive obliteration of a self-destroying economy. We live, we breathe, we exhaust, exhale from tales which once rallied, make the air more unclean, can't take for granted how we fall to sustain our living. The trinity of ghosts are here. David Bowie, Robbie Krieger, Elvis Presley has entered the building. The rock and roll boulders and avalanches. This is near the time that births the humans of rock and roll. Do you feel it in your soul? The music is the vehicle. Come on in. Travel to the heart of the matter on the rails of your coattails. The drums are the gallop of a horse. Purse your lips to the coins of your loins in the carriage of my care. Views of eye candy, vantage stare. Rock is dead funeral between our thighs. Rhythm universal of death not ends it. Like bamboo that breaks it on through. Sex in my sound, love in my word cock. Baggage in my soul, tired wheels spin us around, drums like a running, roaring tiger now, on the hunt for authority, on the haunt of the deplorable. Sign my time signature upon the clocks of the walls, like I signed their asking tits. Travel on the blue ship to a crystal bus. See the tragedy and comedy, the comedy and the tragedy, the sobriety and the intoxication and the sobriety, the notoriety and the unknown within the notoriety, the familiarity of discomfort, the discomfort of familiarity. See the woman and the man and the woman, the joy and the frown, the sadness that wrought this smile, the love in this sex, the sex in this love, the dove of below, the snake of above, the legality in this illegality, the illegal legality of this life I lead. The chains are see-through, the ball and chain we slave to, the romance in this lust, the lust in this romance, the trust in your eyes, the trust between your thighs, shape shift this status quo. Dynamis ho, you know how to give it a blow. The pop, the hairy cherry fairy left a bone on my bed, a bed in my bones, a pill under the pillow, a pillow like a pill, to deep throat and a snore, got some sleep on your thighs like between the corner of your eyes. Ancestors are my teachers and healers. I do not believe in the teacher-master relation. It is meant to be transcended. I am a whole and complete person to myself who has their own inner teacher-master relation. All I gotta be is better than me. You can try, be better than them. Just wish you would be better than we. Complete in me, you can try, be better than me, but wish you'd be better than we. My anima can tie me up better than you. She could tie you up before you knew. My anima's shadow light filters through. My ego so dead, laugh, pretend. The rise you get, think you're under my skin, but you're just in my hair. I don't care. Be better than you, be better than we. I'll be better than me. Be better than you, be better than we. I'll be better than me.